This Argentina story because it is growing and it's developing. The growing part is uh is the part where they're giving even more money to Argentina. But Manu Raju from CNN caught up with Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson's in front of a lot of cameras lately, and he has a lot of excuses to make. It's a good thing he's really bad at lying.
The president is offering his $20 billion bailout to Argentina. Are you okay with that, given the debt and the fact that we're in shutdown right now?
I'm trying to get the details on that. I didn't talk about it with the president last night when I was there, and I'm not sure calling it a bailout is the right description. I don't know anything about it yet. I've been really busy, as you probably noticed, but I'm waiting to get an update on it.
So for some reason, Mike Johnson thinks that he can keep coming up with this excuse that he has no idea what's going on with anything when he doesn't want to answer the question. I got to go check in and see what I'm supposed to say, which lies exactly I'm supposed to push. Because he wasn't ready for that question about what it is that we're doing in Argentina. I guess Donald Trump wasn't ready for it either.
How is this Argentina rescue package America first? And is this rescue package meant to help President Milei's party in the coming election?
No, it's really meant to help a good financial philosophy where Argentina can, after 20 years of disaster, because it was very successful at one point, and it can be again, like Venezuela. Venezuela was very, very successful, and now it's a dictatorship. So when we can help our neighbors, we're making tremendous progress in South America. South America, Marco was telling me, he's like our great expert here. He really knows it. You were telling me that so many of the countries are coming our way. And we had a few years ago, when I just came back, so I've been here now almost 9 months, but when I just came in, I was amazed to see how poorly we've done. We lost so many, and one of them was Argentina, would be lost if he wasn't there. And I think he will be there because the people recognize he's done an amazing job. He took over a real mess. So did I take over a mess. I took over a mess by, the Biden group. And Obama he started it, I'll tell you. Barack Hussein Obama started it. Could you give a couple of words on South America? You were telling me so well yesterday how well we're doing.
Hold on, wait. The question was, how is this bailout for Argentina of $20 billion? How is that America first? Did you hear Donald Trump mention anything about America? Did you hear him mention anything about how what he's doing in Argentina, he and his rich, elitist, oligarch, fascist buddies, what they're doing in Argentina, how that helps Americans? Did you hear it? He said how we're losing Argentina and we've lost other Latin American countries. What do you mean you lost them? This sounds like, a colonizer. This sounds like someone who wants to push his influence on other countries. That doesn't sound like the guy who called himself a populist during the campaign and said he's going to focus on America and stop dealing with these other countries and giving them all of our money. I remember that slogan. I remember that push. I remember a bunch of MAGA folks saying, I can't stand how these Democrats keep dealing in other countries. They keep giving our money away for these foreign wars. So instead, what he's doing, he wants to take our money and do like a domestic war against American citizens while also giving our money away to someone else that he has control over. And he can have them do whatever he wants to do this one thing because, there's oligarchs surrounding him. And that purpose is to make some money, bro. Donald Trump was asked what it is that this support is all about. And he accidentally answered that question truthfully.
He's MAGA all the way. It's make Argentina great again. I heard about him when he was campaigning, and even before his campaign. He's a great economist, and he was saying a lot of very correct things, and he was very much in a conservative mode, and he was make Argentina great again. It worked. I actually sent him some hats for his early part of the campaign, and then he called me. He wanted a lot more. And I said, when does it stop? When will it stop? And it stopped with him winning. And he's become very popular, and he's on the verge of a breakthrough, I think. I think he's really on the verge of tremendous economic success, and I know that Scott Bessent is helping, and our great Scott is doing a job, and he feels very strongly about it. And the election is coming up very soon, and it's a very big election being watched by the world because he's done an incredible job, but with that comes some pain. And they have some pain, and now they're coming out of it. I think the victory is very important. Your poll numbers, I hear, are pretty good, but I think they'll be better after this. And you know, our approvals are somewhat subject to who wins the election, because if a socialist, or in the case of New York City, a communist wins, you feel a lot differently about making an investment. I think, Scott, you'd feel that if somebody that had no chance, in other words, if somebody wins and has no chance of ever having a great economy because of that philosophy, you would put a halt to what we're doing.
Did you hear what he was saying at the back end there? First of all, he talked about how Scott Bessent is helping. Scott Bessent is helping. I'm going to get to the details of that in a second. But this guy, who he said our approvals are subject to who wins the election. He's not talking about American elections. He's talking about upcoming elections around other elected officials in Argentina who will have it out for this guy because he's screwing things up. You know why he's screwing things up? Javier Milei, because he's the puppet for Donald Trump, Scott Bessent, and the rest of these oligarchs that want him to do certain things in that country to make them more money. They don't care about the citizens of Argentina. They don't care about any kind of building up of that nation. What they care about is building up and stealing more resources from someone else, and they found them a guy. But what he said was, if whoever wins that election, if it's someone who can't implement that kind of economic strategy that we have, that he calls a great economy, how great is our economy looking? He says it can make you feel differently about making an investment. I wish these reporters would listen to what this guy's saying in the room and then say, making an investment? What are you investing in Argentina? What are you investing in? And how do you lose a country that's a sovereign nation? Is this like an extra state? Is Argentina the 51st state that you tried to make Canada? I'm just trying to figure out what all this means. But he said victory is important. There's a reason that victory is important. Because of that investment that Donald Trump was just talking about. This bailout for Argentina will double to boost their U.S. influence there is on that country. Isn't that crazy? So really fast, the Trump administration is working to arrange this private sector financing for Argentina that would double the total U.S. financial lifeline for that South American nation, part of a broader effort to swing the region to the right politically. And Scott Bessent is the one that's all about this. The U.S. government authorized an extraordinary $20 billion currency swap this month, which is basically a loan to prop up that sagging Argentine peso, which has fallen more than 24% against the dollar this year. Bessent said Wednesday that the administration was marshaling in an additional $20 billion from banks and sovereign wealth funds to help Argentina make its foreign debt payments. Isn't that crazy? Well, isn't that crazy? It started with, how was this investment, or this bailout, which also Mike Johnson didn't want to call a bailout. It's an investment. That doesn't sound better, bro. How this bailout makes America better, how it fulfills your promises of America first. None of it is there. But what it is Scott Bessent trying to push this country more and mold it in their favor so they can steal more money from it and invest in it. You guys want to know what kind of investments they've got in Argentina? Trump's Argentina bailout enriches this one well-connected U.S. billionaire. So this is when they only announced $20 billion. We're up to $40 billion, as Scott Bessent was pointing out. But this guy, Rob Citroni, I guess is how his name is pronounced. He's a billionaire hedge fund manager, and he's one of Scott Bessent's oldest, best friends. They made each other rich. So as obviously, when two guys who went through their Discovery Capital Management and did all of their shark-like things to make all of their money, he and Scott Bessent have to scratch each other's backs and help each other out. So in this case, Rob Citroni has invested a bunch of money into Argentina. Now that president is doing the things that Elon Musk is doing, slashing the federal government, destroying things and firing people and coalescing and collecting all the money that they can themselves to anyone else. Now that that's destroying that country, as we see how the pesos being destroyed there, they have to reinvest more into it because they're losing, and they can't lose. So they take our money and give it to them.